Get rid of Benjamin Mendy, get rid of him now. Staple him to a train and chuck him off a bridge. Chop off his legs and use them to beat him with. What a horrendous excuse of a left back. Sorry, that was just a message that seems to be relayed on all the Man City message boards this week. And here was me thinking those fans would be soaked to the eyeballs in caviar and wine, still celebrating the fact that they're actually, witnessing some of the world's top talent on a weekly basis and actually in the hunt for these trophies. Don't forget, lads, 12 years ago you had Samras up front and DeMarcus Beasley on the wing. Your best player was the same lad who spent his Christmas beating up teenagers and using human eyeballs as his own personal ashtrays. A bit of perspective, City fans, alright? Okay, so a 2-2 draw at Newcastle isn't a great result. You're now 11 points off the top, but do you know where you were in the table after 14 games without the Arab oil money? Before you effectively pressed the cheat mode on football, 32 points, limping to dull goalless draws at home to Watford, a team you stuck 14 goals past since May. Having said that, your title chances are completely gone. They are lying face down in a ditch. Honestly, lads, I remember at the start of the season when I said this. First, Man City. Strap yourselves in, lads. We're in for a reign of Man City dominance. I mean, if they keep chucking 60 million quid at players they don't even need, this could turn into Serie A or the French League or the Scottish Premier League. The basic divisions where the league title is wrapped up before the ball is even kicked. Well, now I sound like a mug. It's nearly Christmas and they're below Leicester in the league. I'm sorry, if after 1 billion quid spent, your club manages to finish below the likes of Mark Albright not once, but twice. Imagine 2 years ago telling a City fan that Pep Guardiola might finish behind Brendan Rodgers. You'd be dragged away by men in white coats trying to conceive that reality back in 2017. It's a bit like trying to imagine a flying pig and a live unicorn. Craig Shakespeare managing to romance a human woman. But yeah, it might actually be a possibility this season. Anyway, as for the Newcastle game, 2-2, but what a game. City, they lack the hunger from the team last season. I don't think they even believe they're going to win the damn thing. It must be so demoralising the manner in which Liverpool are squeezing out victories, late goals. It must be a kick in the teeth for City each and every week. And so no, there is no resilience here. No actual belief that they're going to lift a third title in a row. Even when Kevin De Bruyne slams home a wonder goal in the 83rd minute, I didn't see any real conviction in the City players' eyes. All of a sudden, they just get nervous. Concede a free kick on the edge of the box. Not one of them bothered to pick up John Joe Shelby on the edge of the area. I was watching this game, lads. Even I could see what was going to happen. How did they not? I mean, yes, as of late, Shelby seems about as clinical in front of goal as a pair of holy slippers, but he still has more technical ability in his middle finger than anyone out on that pitch in black and white. Bang! 2-2, title challenge is dead. And I'm just waiting for City fans to turn on Pep to call for him to be sacked. That day is going to be the one where I truly give up on this sport. Anyway, touching on Leicester, fair play to Rodgers. This is the greatest Leicester City team I've ever seen. Yeah, even better than the one that won the title. Unlike that team, just sprinkled with a few top class players. In this one, there's brilliant players everywhere you look, completely littering the pitch. Put this Leicester team up against the one from 2016, and there's only one winner, lads. But yeah, it's the first week of December, and the Foxes are 12 points clear of 5th. What a job Rodgers has done. He's even got Kelechi Iheanacho scoring, which is a bit like making a pigeon breathe fire. Insane stuff. Arsenal fans are now clamoring over themselves to tip Rodgers for the job. A little over 12 months ago, they were telling anyone who would listen he was a fat clown who finally found his level up in Scotland.
Strictly, Brendan Rodgers, no way. Strictly, Brendan Rodgers, stay at Celtic. Don't leave Scotland. Don't leave Scotland. Look, Brendan Rodgers, don't leave Scotland, please. Don't leave Scotland. Stay Scotland. Don't come to England.
It's funny how opinions are so quick to change. I know I tipped Poch for the Arsenal job, but a real sensible choice would actually be Rafa Benitez. I think we can all see his time in China is just a rebound fling. Just hoover up some cash for 6 months before finally returning to an actual decent standard of play. Benitez is an experienced Premier League coach, no nonsense, and a serial winner. Don't be fooled into thinking mid-table is his expertise. It isn't, alright? The man literally wins everywhere he goes. Even when he fails, he still wins a damn trophy. Even when he turns up at a club starved of success for 50 bastard years, he still wins a damn trophy. I know it's the championship, but still. Don't listen to those brain-dead mouths stirring the pot by reminding us how Steve Bruce has more points at this stage of the season than Rafa did last year. Yeah, well, last I checked, Rafa Benitez had a Champions League winner's medal in his bedside drawer, while Bruce has just spent his career getting relegated and having vegetables lopped off his head. Arsenal, snap up Benitez. But most importantly, lads, take lessons from Manchester United. Do not give the job to Freddie Ljungberg. I find it hilarious that Arsenal fans, they wanted Emery sacked, only to give the job to the assistant coach. Have they learned nothing from Man United? Being a club legend or even a half-decent player should not be the only prerequisite for getting a job. There should be a bit more to it than that. Look at who you have a statue of outside the ground, lads. Would you take him as manager? You'd probably rather eat your own ankles. Appointing Ljungberg would be akin to, when the fans wanted to replace Wenger with Thierry Henry back in 2018. If you had done that and made the decision purely with your heart, with your brains scattered all over your kitchen desk, you'd probably be circling the relegation zone. Yeah, I know, alright, things are working out for Frank Lampard at Chelsea, but that is a rarity. It's just such a lazy way to hire people. And lads, it so rarely ever works. Lads, do not replace Unai Emery with a former swimwear model. For the love of God, it's almost like when you nearly replaced Wenger with Mikel Arteta. And he's not even a club legend. Yes, Arteta could well turn out to be a good manager, but let's just wait and see how he does first. Even Lampard had a seasoned audition at Derby County. All Arteta's done is sit on the bench and occasionally give Pep Guardiola a hug. So what else happened? Chelsea lost at home to West Ham, which must have made Frank Lampard feel like ripping off his own feet. Of all the clubs not to lose to, it is this one. This club whose sets of fans booed him whilst he was at the club, who cheered him when he broke his leg for committing the cardinal sin of, just being related to the boss. This is the club Frank Lampard would happily see burnt to the ground. And make no mistake about it, he'd probably take a piss on their ashes, and he'd probably keep the urn on his bedside table, just laughing at it every morning before work. But no, they lost, and I'm not sure how. West Ham were on their ropiest run. They looked out of ideas. Manuel Pellegrini looked like he was sleepwalking his way to the sack. They were travelling to Stamford Bridge with 34-year-old debutant David Martin in nets. A fella playing at least 2 divisions above his standard. For Christ's sake, he'd barely taken his arse off the bench in nearly 3 years. You would assume that a crippled dog could score against him. But no, the lad keeps a clean sheet. Aaron Cresswell scores a winner, leaving Chelsea fans to curse the very existence of Olivier Giroud. These games were always going to happen sooner or later though. If you're unable to spend money, it's a bit like, being banned from buying any new fresh food for Christmas dinner, and instead having to rely on expired products you bought last year. If that's the case, you can't exactly be surprised when you suddenly start coughing up a kidney midway through your mouldy shepherd's pie. Welcome to my world, lads. I have to make do with licking empty cartons of milk from next door's bin. Speaking of which, Man United 2, Aston Villa 2. It's just beyond a joke. If I was a Man United fan, watching Jack Grealish stick one in the top corner, I think I'd almost feel like vomiting up my own spleen. I'm sorry, but can we just take a minute to truly appreciate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's bad results since signing that permanent deal in March? Tell Man United fans back in the days of Fergie that in the space of 6 months they would go down 4-0 at Everton, 2-0 home to Man City, draw 1-1 at Huddersfield, lose 2-0 home to Cardiff, travel to Wolves 3 times and not register a single win, lose at home to Crystal Palace, take Rochdale, a club reduced to signing the likes of Paul McShane, at home to penalties, get 1 measly point at a club which would soon concede 9 in one match, lose 2-0 at woefully out of form West Ham, 3 home draws with Arsenal and Liverpool as wins, get beat at Bournemouth, and then a combined 2 points from a doubleheader against 2 promoted teams. And after all that, you tell them that the manager isn't sacked. Never mind a sacking, those fans would be expecting a public lashing through the streets of Manchester. Strip him naked, walk him through the town square, shouting shame, shame at the top of your lungs. But no, he's not getting that, he's keeping his job. Lads, there are 6 games until Christmas. 6! It's getting close, but I remain confident that I'm gonna have a fairly dry Christmas, alright? 6 games. That should be enough time. What else? Liverpool squeaked to another tight win. 2-1 home to Brighton, leading some fans to actually complain about the club's style of play on Twitter. You've won all but 1 game this season. You're 11 points clear of City at the top of the goddamn league. It's a bit like a kid being given a brand new pair of Yeezys for Christmas and complaining about the f***ing colour. Chin up, lads, alright? You're going to win the goddamn league, alright? You should be giddy with excitement. Personally, am I happy to see Liverpool flying high? I don't really care. I'm not a Liverpool fan. I don't give a shit. Even though, some of you probably think I am, because my first appearance on the internet wasn't a dodgy fan cam, with my head largely out of focus. No, but this was just a case of wrong place or wrong time back in 2015.
He's gone to catch the ball, it's in play, it's at least a yellow card, it's a deliberate handball. How was he not booked in for that? I do not know. You know what, Daniel Sturridge...
Yeah, plenty more backstory coming soon in the Irish Guy skit, which is going to be so highly edited, so highly produced, it's going to have Martin Scorsese on board. Nah, it's just going to be me, lads. Just me. Anyway, before I go, I have to touch on a story, which is just awful. Listen, lads, I like to have a laugh on this channel. Express my disdain for the likes of Jack Grealish. Tell everyone how I'm still traumatized by the defensive masterclasses that Paul McShane used to dole out every week. But this is actually a genuinely terrible story. Some things are bigger than football. More than promotions, more than relegations. It's things like this which really put everything into perspective. Benicophobe, currently on loan at Bristol City. He's just lost his 2-year-old daughter, Amora, who sadly passed away on Friday. Some of you might know, I've actually interviewed this guy before. And I have to say, I know the stereotype is out there that footballers are rude, dull, and only care about that new diamond watch on their wrist. But this man was none of those. He was a pleasure. Polite, informative, and forthcoming. Not only was he an interviewer's dream, but he actually seems like a really decent lad. And for something like this to happen, if he ever comes across this, I just hope he knows that the entire football world is standing with him. I can't imagine how horrendous this must be for the lad. But I just thought I'd extend my own personal condolences to the man. Whether he sees it or not, it doesn't really matter. I just hope he knows that the whole football world is standing with him. Anyway, Anyway, that's the end of it, lads. If you have enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.